What's up, guys? Off the Beaten Path podcast here. This is episode number 3 of Day Drake discussions. I might be a little off the sauce right now. I'm Nate Stevens. Got my co-host Bobby Stevens.
You better not edit that shit out either. That was hilarious.
I'm definitely not going to. Unedit it. They're gonna get to hear everything.
Hey, when you talk, get a little bit closer to the mic. I think it's not picking you up.
Oh, my bad. Is this better?
No, I just want to sound like Rogan. I love the way he says that shit. He's like, "Hey, man," he's like, "I appreciate what you just said, but can you like say a little bit closer?"
He always says, he's like, just imagine a fist, like get like a fist away from the mic. How you doing?
My smart ass will be like, whose fist like are we talking about? I'm doing great, man. I'm just sitting here having some coffee, watching your drunk ass get a little bit more toasted.
Yes, and for me, this is Day Drink Discussions, and you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but for you, this is Sobriety Saturday. And I say sobriety, not saying you're an alcoholic, but you ain't drinking.
Super sobriety Saturday. If you get D's, I get 3 S's.
Super. Okay, I get 3 D's, you get 3 S's. That's cool. Triple D's, triple S. But yours ain't super because you're drinking coffee, so that's not really sobriety.
Yeah, I mean, caffeine is a drug, but
it's
not a drug that's gonna be. It's a hell of a drug, but I'm not gonna be out of my head doing like crazy shit.
Yeah, and that's what's beautiful, man. I'm proud of you. You know, like I said, we ain't gotta talk about, but I'm proud of you for saying, "Hey, I don't want to drink anymore. Let me stop drinking." You want to talk about the book that you're reading?
Yeah, so I'm reading a book by this guy named Alan Carr called "Quit Drinking Without Willpower," and the premise of the book is more like because he's saying like the old ways of like trying to quit any addiction. Whether it be a very strong addiction or like a weaker addiction, is often through willpower. But what he attempts to do through his book is to actually remove the desire. Because he says if there's temptation, you're always going to feel deprived. You're always going to feel like you're missing out on this thing that you want to do. But he wants to remove the desire so there's no temptation. There's no need for willpower.
See, that's beautiful because I watched the Joe Rogan episode with Nikki Glaser.
I think it was Nikki. Yeah, because you thought it was Whitney. It was not Tom, but I think it was Nikki.
Okay, so let's do it with Nikki. I watched that episode, and whatever episode it was, she talked about that book, but she didn't even explain it the way you just explained it. You know, like she didn't explain the quitting addiction, the 12-step program, and all that shit. All depends on willpower. Like you're gonna have temptation, fucking. Just be stronger, and that shit's hard for people. Like it's hard for quitting cigarettes, it's hard for quitting other substances, but to remove the desire, I agree. I feel like that's if it's possible. It may not be possible for some people, but if it's possible to remove that desire instead of just going straight off willpower, it will be much more beneficial.
Yeah, because I haven't gotten too far into the book. I'm 2, maybe 3 chapters in. But what he was talking about was willpower was human beings, he didn't put it this way, but we're weak. And we just don't have willpower. I ate fucking 9 slices of pizza last night. I felt like shit this morning. I took 3 shits before 10 o'clock and I woke up at 8:30. So, I mean, human beings are weak. We don't have a whole lot of willpower. When you try to do things with the willpower method and you fail, it makes you feel weak and it makes you feel shame and guilt, and which drives you further into addiction, because that's what drives addiction, the shame, the guilt. So when you fail because you have a desire that you can't stand up to, it just kind of perpetuates a cycle. So his method, he said he designed it for himself, and he said he's helped millions on it. So the way he goes about it, I think Nikki or whoever it was on Rogan, was basically saying he presents a very logical, very unrefutable evidence of why you shouldn't have a desire for it. And he compares drinkers versus non-drinkers. And he's like, non-drinkers don't use willpower to not drink. they don't have the desire. So he wants to take somebody that has an addiction, whether it be drinking, gambling, food addiction, sex addiction, addiction being a dick on the highway. I mean, whatever addiction is that you might have, his goal is to remove desire from having things.
Let's go with the opposite of it. I want to see what you think about it. Something that you want to. So working out. You're going off of willpower. But what if it wasn't willpower? What if you actually had a desire to work out? Because a lot of people, I think, with diets or anything, if they want to lose weight, gain weight, whatever it is, they are going off of willpower because they want to look better. But what if you actually had a desire? I want to do this. I want to do it. It's not a dread. I have to force myself to do it. What if it was actual desire on the opposite side of the spectrum?
Well, as soon as you said that and you brought up working out, the first person I thought of was C.T. Fletcher. And he talks about his magnificent obsession, how he was obsessed with working out, how he was obsessed with being a weightlifting world champion, how he's obsessed with being the biggest, the strongest when he walks into the room. So, like, for him, I would say he's addicted to the feeling of working out and feeling good. And I would say that's a great thing because it's positive. It doesn't hurt him. It helps him. It's healthy.
So maybe you could even use the reverse side effects, because for me, I love feeling healthier. I love when I work out. I love when I wake up and I'm a little sore. I love when I work out and I'm able to sleep better at night. I love when I work out for 2 months straight and I can see the results.
Yep.
But every night I work out, it's off of willpower. It's like your shirt says in Joe Rogan's little quote, "Conquer your inner bitch." You know, like right there, and it has a fucking which I have right 25 pounds kettlebell. I was using it for 2 months, but honestly, that was all off of willpower. It wasn't because I desired to be more fit, but it was a willpower to actually do it. But what I'm saying is basically, I feel like maybe you could take the author, you could take you could take his opposite. His is take the desire away and not based off of willpower. And the opposite would be put desire into it and not make it willpower.
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking about my account for just a few days ago. And I was telling him I was ready to just get rid of the desire. I told him what book I was reading, and he's like, "Oh, I was actually going to recommend that book to you because his method is really good." He's like, "I've had other clients quit drinking. I've had other clients with his not smoking book quit smoking." So it's cool that you actually found that on your own. But I was telling him, I was like, I've been pouring myself back into yoga. I've been dealing with some acute pain and some chronic pain. So I've been trying to do that a little bit more, just trying to strengthen this area and get a little bit stronger, get a little bit more flexible. And it's been working along with going to the chiropractor. I was like, so I want to pour myself into like healthy things and be addicted to working out, be addicted to playing music again, being addicted to doing things that are positive. Because if I have this brain that latches onto things and gets obsessed and can't let go, it's not that brain just put in all things. So negative, take that in brain and use it to make something stuff.
The only two that I'm addicted to is that's positive is bleeding and sneaker reselling.
Yeah, start that over. I don't know if it just glitched in my ears, but you kind of cut out.
Yeah, you cut out on the last little bit. I think, and I can also hear myself talking. The only two things I'm addicted to that's positive and reading books. Am I still breaking up?
Yeah, I heard what you said because I know what you do. But if y'all didn't hear him, he said sneaker reselling. and reading books. Tell them about how much money you've been making off selling shoes.
I hope it's not lagging. I'm trying to figure out lagging because I feel like maybe because my phone is against the like the speakers on it. I'm gonna hold it here for a second. Am I breaking up?
Yeah, it must be the position of the phone because it only recently started. You started off sounding really good.
But I'm breaking up right now.
No, you sound perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna hold it here while I talk, and then I'll put it back down when you're talking. But
all right.
Actually, I just got a pair of Air Jordan 23s and $209. I only sold them for like $320. Also got a pair of Atlas, Asics, and Sean Weatherspoon, which are highly coveted. $170. So those were about $3. And I can hear myself really good. And I'm still breaking up.
Yeah, you came through clear enough, but you were breaking up a little bit. But I mean, like your operation with the sneaker reselling is not big enough that you don't have enough volume turning over that you're like replacing your job or anything.
Hell no.
But if you paid $170 for a pair of sneakers and sold it for $320, that's $150. It takes me like 9 hours to make $150 at work.
And all I did
so I mean, it's like 12 hours after tax to make that shit. And you're just buying a shoe on the internet and then flipping it on whatever site that you use. That's crazy.
And for those, the Air Jordan 23s that I just bought for $209 and I sold for $100 pretty much. Those I woke up early. You know, I waited till 10 a.m. looking at my phone and clicking on it so I could see the seconds. As soon as it hit 10 a.m., I'm clicking on the website, entering my payment information is already auto-filled. So all I have to do is click it, hit accept, and then it says you're in line. And I ended up getting them, and I was happy. But with the ones where I made, you know, like 150, those, all I did was enter the raffle. You know, like, and it was luck of the draw. But what I want to get at this is I want to get the sneaker bot, and all of my sneaker money I'm putting in my PayPal account. I touch it every now and then when I have to, but I try not to touch it. And I want to get a sneaker bot, and a sneaker bot, a good one, you're gonna be paying, and I'll say a decent one. A great one, you're paying $4,000. A decent one, I want to pay maybe $1,200 for it, and then that one pair of shoes where I made almost $200. What happens when I get 10 pairs because the sneaker bot worked, and then that's $2,000 that I made off of those shoes. That's where I want to get.
Yeah, I was about to say once you have enough inventory, enough skill to be able to sell 5 to 10 pairs a day, you're talking about $1,000 to $2,000 a day off freaking sneakers.
Exactly, and it's definitely possible.
People are already.
What'd you say?
I'm sure people are doing it already. 1 to 2 pairs a day. That's doing that.
Yeah. There's. I'm in the cook group. And am I breaking up again?
You break up when you don't look at the phone. I understand you're thinking, but like when I think movement's like breaking it up.
Damn. Because I feel like when I can hear myself, when I'm breaking up.
Yeah, I don't know when that would be.
Yeah. Basically, I know when I'm breaking up because every time I hear I don't hear myself talking right now. But as soon as it starts coming back, I'm like, huh?
You said didn't hear yourself?
See, you just broke up right then. What'd you say?
You said you were sounding perfect?
Yeah. And I don't know what to fix, but it's annoying. It was last night.
Yeah, it was perfect last night. Riddle me this: do you have any headphones that have a like a mic? Like you're in Georgia, so you have a hands-free law. Do you have like headphones that you talk on the phone with?
No, I do have headphones that have a mic, but I have no clue where they're at.
Gotcha. It don't matter. If watches us talk for 45 minutes to an hour anyways, I don't think they're going to carry it back up a little bit. So we won't even ignore it. We won't even pay attention to it. We'll just ignore it.
All right, I'm cool with it. But yeah.
Because it's going to keep happening whether we pay attention to it or not.
The thing is I've seen so many Zoom podcasts or like conference calls and shit, and it breaks up every now and then, but ours is annoying. Like I don't hear myself, so I'm sure I'm coming through clear.
I mean, you did for the most part when you said clear, like clear.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, and we're talking about getting our internet set up because right now we're doing like 100 megabytes. We've been talking about getting a new modem, new router, and doing like 200. So it might be my internet, might be yours. I know Wendy's also streaming for a laptop, so it might be that. I don't know.
I know that can often because I know like when I would play video games here and Brushy's not home, goes through perfectly fine. But if he's home and he's on the internet and shit, then my game lags or it kicks me out of the game. So I know streaming, whether it's YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, whatever, I know that can really tie the internet up, which is fucked up because it's 2020.
We have friends or countries that talk about making internet.
What did you say?
For countries,
I didn't understand the damn words you said. Not shit, man. Nothing. I hear, like, literally, you're not breaking up. I literally hear a noise, is what it sounds like. I still can't. Can you hear me? Take your head if you can hear me. All right.
But you can't hear me.
Oh, you just came in perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Might be my mic.
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. When I say y'all to anyone that's watching, is make fun of us now, but go watch Joe Rogan episode number 1.
And no hate, Matt. We talk about Rogan so much because I wouldn't say we I don't know if I look up to him as a podcaster or as a person.
I do.
But his tenacity to like start something and see it through, and not even through to the end. But I mean, he's 11 years in, and he has no end goal. He's just doing it. He does so many a week, every week, regardless of what he has going on. Like he doesn't miss. So his consistency, his ability to overcome challenges, his ability to grow and get better at what he does, I appreciate and respect that.
Me too.
So we reference. I'm sorry. Say we reference them because. Yeah, motherfucker, you can't hear me?
No. I was talking right when you started talking. That was my bad.
Oh, I was like, God. But no, like I just respect him, his ability to set his mind to something, be consistent, and improve. That's cool. A lot of people don't have that.
And you said that, I don't know if I look up to him as a podcaster, but I think you do. I can't speak for you, but I know personally me, I definitely look up to him because like you said, like his tenacity gives people like us motivation. Like I was watching this podcast. What I was about to talk about Joe Rogan, no jump out, but someone said, "Man, everyone." I think it was on Joe Rogan. Someone was like, "Yeah, everyone has a podcast now." The fucking UPS driver said they had a podcast, and the interviewer was like, "Wait, really?" And we're like, "No, I'm just kidding." But, bruh, look at us. I work in a call center. You work in sales. And we have a podcast. Everyone has a podcast now. And honestly, I don't think I would have never strived or had the motivation to want to speak to musicians and artists, rather they do videography, rather they do OnlyFans, rather they do actual paintings. I want to speak to people, and a big part of that is Joe Rogan's motivation.
And when I look up to him, I don't look at a lot of people. Like, I see what I like in people, and I try to model that. And I'm definitely inspired by him. I definitely have motivation. But that's kind of where it stops. Like, I don't really have like role models or stuff like that at this stage in life. But I mean, I had never listened to many podcasts before Rogan. I had been shown a few episodes of podcasts. Just because the people I was with enjoyed the topic of the podcast and they thought I'd enjoy the topic. And I felt close to me, and like they're talking about this thing for an hour, 2-3 hours. You're getting a lot of detail, a lot of nuanced content. But I never went back and like download the podcast myself and listen to it myself until you introduced me to Rogan 3 years ago. I guess it was 4 years ago. I listened to the one with Henry Rollins. And I just thought Henry was a very fascinating guy. And I was like, holy shit, I just listened to him and this other guy talk. I listened to Henry Rollins talk to the Fear Factor guy for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we all know Rogan video. It's like, you can watch Joe Rogan talk. But that's kind of weird because we come on Fear Factor. We and now it's doing like 2-3 times a week. That's strange.
Yeah, it's really strange, man. Yes. Am I breaking up again?
Don't even think about it.
Oh yeah, we're not thinking about it. No, it's really strange.
I was just making a dumbass analogy about fish. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, a fish swimming in the water, just fucking shark goes by, just fucking keep swimming. Don't even worry about it. But it's like how people say, if you could be on the fly on the wall anywhere, where would you be? That's what it's like watching the podcast. You're a fly on the wall listening to these people talk.
Yeah, and what I like about his, it doesn't feel like an interview. It just feels like a normal-ass conversation with very interesting people.
And I think that's what podcasts are, and I think that's what everyone is trying to do is I ain't gonna say back in our day, we're not that old, but back when we were like teenagers, if we were driving in the car with mom or riding in the car with mom and T.I. was on 95.5 The Beat and it was a 10-minute interview, they would have a list of questions and they would say, okay, tell us about this. T.I. would answer, okay, tell us about this. But I think that's what podcasts are, is it's a conversation. You know, it's not a typical radio interview anymore.
Yeah, it's not very short too, because it's hard to express a full thought on the spot in just a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes.
It's like it's like trying to it's like trying to capture someone's life in a 2-hour movie. Like, you can't capture Tupac's life in a 2-hour movie. You can't capture Biggie's life in a 2-hour movie. You know, I think with biopics, of like Tupac or Biggie or NWA, it should have been like that O.J. Simpson thing where it was cast into like 10 episodes, or like The Last Dance cast into 10 episodes, even though The Last Dance was different because it was an interview format, but it should be cast into episodes of actors instead of an actual movie.
Or I like it when biopics, like you just mentioned, Last Dance. It's on Netflix now. Oh, you don't watch Netflix, never mind. But Last Dance, what I like is a very specific window. It's not Michael Jordan's entire life. Scottie Pippen is not the team's entire life in a 10-hour series. That would be boring. It'd be very down because you have too much content for such a short period of time. But also, people don't have 100 hours to watch an entire life story. But you're talking about a span that lasted from what, late 80s to mid 90s? So you're spending about almost really about an hour per year kind of watching a Last Dance. So I think when a biopic movie shows like maybe five to 10 years of this person's life as depicted by whatever biography he or she may have written. But when it's like, oh, let's give you their entire life story from birth to the rise and then the fall and then the eventual death in 2 hours, like you can't do that. You're talking about 40, 50 years in 2 hours. Give me like a three-year window.
Excuse me. You're missing way too much. Yeah. You just, it can't be done. Like, and for a Fairweather fan like I am of Biggie, where I don't know his whole life, yeah, that was a great movie. But if you are a Biggie fan, you were 28 when Biggie got shot and killed, and you were a huge fan. You read every interview in the magazines. You saw every video. You saw every MTV interview he did. And then you see that movie, you're going to be like, whoa, they put that in there or they missed that? It can't be done. It can't.
Yeah, 2 hours is too long for a whole life.
Yeah.
What they could have done is like done a very snippet of his life. It would have been more interesting. Even to, you call yourself a fair weather fan, like even to somebody that's a casual fan, it'd still be more interesting because there's more detail.
And I like what you said. I said fair weather, and I knew it wasn't the right word because fair weather is kind of more of when he's up, I love him. When he's down, I ain't fucking with him, but casual. I'm more of a casual fan. That's a better word for what I was trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, that's, the understanding still came across, even though the verbiage was a little bit different.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I'm always on fights because I don't keep up with the UFC the way you do. Is there like a fight tonight?
Wait a minute. I literally was just about to talk about the UFC. Don't ask me a question. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's very funny.
But is there a fight night tonight?
I already got it pulled up. We got Anthony Smith versus, I don't know how to say his name, Rocket. The only two people I know on this card is Anthony Smith is the main event, and Robbie Lawler is the co-main event. That's the only two people I know on this card. I'm sorry, what did you say? You're breaking up. We might have to wait for a second.
You hear me now?
Yeah. What did you say? You're still breaking up. I think you said that Robbie Lawler is dope.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Magny.
You know him? You know Neil? Oh, I do know Neil Magny. I just know his face. I've seen him fight before.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know anybody else. I don't know the females, and I don't know the other two guy fights. Never heard of them.
Do you know Anthony Smith?
Yeah, I know Anthony Smith. He got beat by who beat him recently?
I can't remember.
What weight class? Light heavyweight. Oh,
I'm trying to look.
sleeve. Right arm.
He got beat by Glover Teixeira. I don't know.
Yeah, just doing matches. BJJ. No, it's like a slug match. Who's a light heavyweight? Did Adesanya beat him on his rise to the title? Was that right before Rob Whittaker?
I don't know, because the last fight that shows Anthony Smith is Anthony Smith versus Glover Teixeira, round 5 TKO. Anthony Smith lost. I can't see his previous fight.
Once he fought
I've definitely seen him fight.
That's like heavyweight. What class is he?
No, you said light heavyweight.
Okay, light. No. No, John's beat him. He fought John Jones beginning of 2019. John Jones, Bums.
Oh, that's how I remember. Wait, did it? I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
I was saying John Jones and Austin stuff.
Isn't that the fight where John Jones did the illegal knee, but Anthony Smith kept fighting? I'm pretty sure, because we had a show that night, and neither here nor there, it doesn't matter, but we had a show kind of far away, about an hour away from hometown, and I was on my way home, and I got to Parker's house, and I walk in, and I'm like, "Is a fight over?" And like, "Yeah, it's over, man." Nathan was so mad. He's like, "That fucking dirty ass fighter, John Jones, fucking illegal needle," but Anthony Smith kept going on, so he didn't get disqualified. I hate John Jones, blah blah blah. But I ended up going back and rewatching the fight, and Anthony Smith was on the canvas, and fucking John Jones just drills his fucking knee in, man. Right?
I remember that. But John Jones, the heavyweight. Next, I want to see a heavyweight, because I want to see Francis Ngannou get his second title fight. And then I don't want them to let John Jones just come into heavyweight and go straight to the top. No, make him work for it. Make him work up those rankings. He's been the owner of light heavyweight since he started, right? So he's earned his keep. So don't put him at the bottom. Put him like top 5, maybe give him like top 8. But make him go through Derek Lewis. Make him go through Biggie Boy. Make him go through some other guys to get up to speed.
I agree. But what about two people we have to talk about is Conor McGregor and John Jones. They're both saying that they're not fighting anymore.
Jones doesn't want to fight because of financial reasons. I don't know about McGregor. I haven't paid attention to Conor. But yeah, John Jones feels like Dana White and the UFC owe him more money, so he's vacated his belt until he's going to get paid more. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's a power move. That's not going to work. Now, when he was at his height, before all of the controversy, and he was a real big draw, I think it would have worked. And he's retained a lot of fans, but I think a lot of people have stopped being a fan of him just because of his stuff outside the ring, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. You make enough mistakes, people don't want to follow you. I'll give him grace, I think.
When I've been following John Jones for a little minute, and like, he reminds me of Mike Tyson. He didn't know what to do with that much success, that much fame, and that much money, and he parted his life away. And even in his most recent podcast episode with Steve, he talks about like this quarantine has showed me a lot. The friends that would hit me up don't hit me up because there's nowhere to go. So I've stayed at home with my wife. I've stayed at home with my kids, partying and drinking. It's kind of like what we talked about at the beginning. It's not desire anymore, And he's so good at what he does. That's what I hate. Like you got Jon Jones, Conor McGregor. The two other people I would hate to see this happen to is Khabib and Israel Adesanya.
See, Israel is such a thin. I'm not sure dropping Khabib. Khabib would have him up to him.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up.
Saying Israel's a lot middle. He's tall. So I don't think have enough weight to be able to go down to 155. Like you're going to be a fight for 15 pounds heavy.
Wait, keep talking.
You couldn't hear me?
No, okay, you're coming through clear. What did you say?
I was saying Israel is a very tall and thin middleweight. So he doesn't have a whole lot of weight to be able to drop. So right. Khabib would have to go up to him. He wouldn't be able to come down because he would be way too skinny.
Oh, no. That's not what I was saying. I'm sorry. I confused you. What I was saying is how Conor McGregor and Jon Jones are supposedly retiring at the peak of their career. I would also hate to see Israel Adesanya get to his peak and then fucking say I quit, and then Khabib get to his peak and say I quit. Like, that's what I was saying.
Oh, God. I thought you were saying you want to see them fight. I don't think it would ever happen. Wait, too.
I don't think that'd even be a good fight. Like, even if they were in the same weight class, like, that's not a fight I'm interested in seeing,
Yeah. But I like it when people go out on their peak. I don't like to see a former champion get washed up and just go out on a low note. I mean, it's interesting to see them fight until they can't. But I think it's also nice when they're like, you know what? I have nothing more to give the sport. Every goal I've set to accomplish, I have accomplished. I'm good. Like, there's nothing more for me to prove. And I don't want to just get my ass beat.
Let's talk about this. What if Anderson Silva went out on his peak? Okay, but he is still showing that he is not the spider that he used to be. But he's still showing that he can compete. He's not getting knocked out every fight. He gave Adesanya a good fight, even though Adesanya whooped his ass. He still gave Adesanya a good fight and tested him. That's where I want to see you go out. Anderson Silva, I want to see you one more fight against whoever it is. I can't think who he called out, but whoever you're fighting next, Anderson, be that your last fight. I don't want to see you washed up. I don't want to see that, especially when I had so much reverence and so much respect and you gain all this reputation. I don't want to see you washed up. But if you're still able to fight and give a good fight, I want to see it. I want to see what would have happened, what could have happened. I don't want to always, what if Khabib and Tony Ferguson would have fight? I don't want that.
I can't wait till October with the Khabib and Gaethje. That's going to be a good fight.
Oh my God. Yes.
That's crazy. Gaethje's also a wrestler. I don't think his wrestling ability is, and I'm not a professional commentator, his wrestling ability is not Khabib's. But I think his wrestling is good enough. I think his wrestling ability is good enough to have good takedown defense. And if he can stay up, both of his hands are dangerous. Not just one, but both of his hands are very dangerous.
He tagged Ferguson up.
It's sad that this is my favorite part, but whatever round it was, 4th round, 5th round, when Tony like closed his eyes and shook his head, it's like that motherfucker is trying to stay awake. He is on autopilot. He's trying to stay awake. His heart is better than his body right now.
You know how beautiful that is?
And when they stopped it, he was upset. Huh?
He was mad. He was mad.
He was mad. He was pissed. But it was about to get. He was about to get really hurt.
Gaethje went over to him and said, "Hey man, good fight," and he swatted him off. And Gaethje said, "Hey man, you're not gonna get anywhere being an asshole." But he was mad, and after everything, the smoke settled. Gaethje, Ferguson went over to Gaethje and was like, "Hey man, that was a good fight, you know. And I wish they wouldn't have stopped it, but that was a good fight." But yeah, he wasn't being an asshole. He was like, "No, I wanted to still fight, and they stopped it, man. I still could have knocked you out." No, bruh, you were done for.
He was done the round before, but I mean, that's what we were talking about, like addiction, like obsession. Like Tony, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's rumored that he's had training sessions that last for 6 hours. His cardio is out of this world.
Yeah.
To take a beat, and he gave a beating too. It's not like he came out without any bumps. I mean, he gave a beating too, but the beating that he was able to take and still stand up.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say
that's crazy.
Can't take that. Most fighters can't take that. Even professional fighters in the sleep class, they would have sleep a long time before that.
Yeah. And even if they weren't asleep, I've seen fighters give up. I've only seen, I think, either 1 or 2 fighters actually like, no more, you know. But I've seen fighters where they got hit and they just kind of went down and just fucking didn't do anything because they're like, I'm done. I'm just gonna stay here until the ref stops it. But no, that motherfucker, even though most fighters would have been knocked out, if they weren't knocked out, they would have got hit, laid on the canvas, and just balled up.
He was still charging with his hands up.
Yes, he was pressing most of that fight. Like, even though Gaethje's tagging him, he's still pressing. Oh my God. Shit was crazy.
Yeah. I've never seen anybody take like that and just keep going.
Do you agree with me on this? You've seen most of the UFC fights, and I think the UFC fights that you've missed haven't been anything like it. So, Zhang Weili, Jędrzejczyk. I got it wrong. I didn't.
And I don't pronounce her name perfectly. I mean, I don't even know what language her name is, but Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
What's her last name?
Jędrzejczyk.
Jędrzejczyk. So, Zhang Weili,
like I said, I'm not pronouncing that perfectly.
But I'm completely in the field when I say it. But I don't care if I fucking get a dictionary. But yeah, so Zhang Weili and Jędrzejczyk, fight of the year. Fuck you, man. Fight of the year. Performance of the year goes to Gaethje against Ferguson.
So far, I mean, we're in August. We only have 5 more fights? So far, yeah, definitely. Or I would say this, for the pay-per-views, definitely. I haven't seen fight nights, so I can't say, but for the pay-per-views, 100%.
And like I said, about the fight nights that you have missed, because you've seen some of the fight nights, but the ones that you have missed, you've missed some good fights, but you haven't missed Zhang Weili. You haven't missed the Gaethje. And I say that they're pay-per-views, but there's been some good fights that you've missed. And I'm like, damn, I wish I could talk to Bobby about this, but you haven't missed anything amazing. But do you think that anything in a year, not in a decade, in a year is going to beat that female fight in a year?
No, that's totally a fight of the year.
What if that same exact fight would have happened? Same exact fight played out exactly the same with no fans. Do you think it would have been as wild or as crazy, or do you think it would have been crazier?
I think it would have been crazier because, like, I've heard some fighters say, like Stipe even said it. Yeah, I like the fans, like it's interesting or whatever, but it's nice to not have a walkout and have people like try to diss you if they enjoy the other person. He's like, but when I'm in there, he's like, I'm in the zone. Like, I'm there to perform. I'm doing a job. I'm there to fight. Like I'm not. Yeah, I want to be entertaining, but I'm gonna do my job whether there are fans or not. So I mean, they're at such a high level. A lot of them have said having no fans hasn't made a difference.
But
so,
but what I'm saying is the same exact fight. Every hit, every dodge, every kick, same exact thing. For us fans watching at home, in my opinion, to answer my own question, I think it would have been crazier because with the fans, when the fans are, fucking going crazy and you can hear it through the fucking phone speaker or laptop speaker through the TV, that makes you go a little bit crazier. But I think it would just be a little bit crazier because you can hear every hit, every breath. Oh.
What I find fascinating, because the first fight I watched that had no fans, like that was interesting to me. But now you're used to it. It's like, okay, I'm used to hearing them breathe. I'm used to hearing the hits.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you're just hearing a very hard hit and you're hearing a whole lot of breath. So it's not a shock anymore. What's interesting to me, though, is them dragging the person to their own corner, hearing coaching, and they're just being shell this guy, and their coach is telling them exactly what to do. And they can hear everything because there's no fans.
Right.
I find that very interesting.
I find it interesting.
One thing that I was going to say, one thing that happened too, they didn't intentionally do it because the commentators, they get excited, and some of our favorite shots are of DC and Rogan just, oh shit.
I know what you're talking about.
They were inadvertently coaching. Yeah, they were inadvertently coaching people by just talking loud about being passionate. Like, oh man, like had he done this, and then they make adjustments, and they're like, oh shit, are we coaching them right now? Like we don't mean to. Like we're just trying to commentate.
And even the fight I'm sorry, the fight you're talking about, I think it was Gilbert Burns. Not Gilbert, it was another Burns, but the fight you're talking about, even on the post-fight interview, the dude said, he was like, yeah, DC, I heard you say this, and then I made that adjustment. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, there's things that happen that everybody has to adjust for because nobody expected it.
And what I like about no fans is you still can't hear it perfectly, but you can hear the coaches. And it brings me back to my wrestling days of when I would wrestle, there would be 30 people in the crowd, mom screaming at the top of her lungs. The only person I heard, it wasn't the other dude's father screaming, get him, get him. The only person I heard was my coach. Like, I was zoomed into his voice. It wasn't the other coach saying, grab his ankle, grab his ankle. It was my coach. That's the only thing I heard. So it kind of makes me go into their world a little bit of, oh, all they hear is their coach. Is like, no, me, it was 30 people in the high school or middle school gym. Them, it's 7,500 people in an arena or some crazy number. And it may be hard to hear their coach, but they're so zoned in, and no fans kind of makes me feel that wrestling again of now all they truly hear is their coach. They don't hear the other coach. They don't care about the other coach. They don't care what he or she is saying. They care about their coach and what they're saying. But I like, God, it's so hard, dude. I don't know if I like no fans or if I like fans. I don't know.
for me, at first it was strange just because like most of the fans and the social distancing post-fight interviews, and we just talked about this before. I like that the interviews on the fighters' end of things is less over the top. It's just less craziness, like because there aren't fans that are like cheering them on and giving them this added boost of energy. Because that's when I think the fans really make a difference. Is when after a post-fight interview, they're finally glad this thing's over. They're no longer getting their ass kicked. They're no longer having to perform at a high level. Their adrenaline's pumping still. These people are screaming and cheering. They just say weird shit. But by the time they get to the post-fight interview, they have to walk on the ring. They have some water. They have their own headphones. Standing in front of the camera. They're not breathing heavy. They've already wiped some sweat. And they have a very normal conversation.
You know the only thing,
I enjoy that more.
You know the only thing that some of the fighters forget to do? Hey, Mr. Burns, like, can you take that mouthpiece out? They still have the mouthpiece doing the interview.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I've seen it twice.
But yeah, I enjoy that more. I do enjoy the craziness. One thing you said last night or a couple of nights ago that I didn't think about was now they can no longer call out that fighter that's on the side of the cage just talking shit. That was interesting. And it was a little bit too WWE for me.
Yeah.
When CB and Brock Lesnar came in the ring and did that, whatever it was, pushed him and like shoved the mic into the camera.
Right.
But it was a little bit too professional wrestling for me. It seemed a little bit fake. But that energy and that type of thing. But we're also never going to see Khabib jump up out of the ring again and cause like a mayhem.
Mayhem.
I think governor of whatever city they were in was like there, or I guess governor's state, mayor, governor, whatever it was. There was like a high-level politician for that state there. And like he was scared and like left with his bodyguards and like entourage. He's like, holy shit, like what's about to happen? Like I've like after the Conor thing, Dana was pissed in a way I've never seen him pissed on camera. But with a Khabib, he didn't even have words. He's like, I don't know. That's between him and Las Vegas. I don't know. That's between him and Las Vegas. I don't know what we're gonna do. Like he didn't even it had never happened in the history of the sport.
Yeah. You know, that fight actually broke out into the fans. So that was the main event of the night. When fans were leaving, Conor fans were fighting Khabib fans. Like there was like 3 different fights happening, like not in the stadium, but like where the food concessions are and shit. You can find them. You can find them on YouTube, like of people recording. Like, dude, that was a hectic night. All because Khabib was like, "You disrespected my family, no go. You disrespected my religion, no go. I kicked your ass in the ring. Now I'm gonna fucking disrespect you." And dude, that just broadened. You got drunk people, and if they were rooting for McGregor, fucking 2 seats over from you. Dude, that fucking echoed, bruh.
And the thing about the 2 fan groups, not talking about the American fans, I had never heard of Dagestan before Khabib. I didn't even know it was a place.
Me neither.
But they're very proud. Like when he won the title, they like you couldn't get through the cities. Yeah. Like the traffic was so built up, they were shooting fireworks in the cities. Like he represented their country. And they were so proud.
Exactly.
And Irish people, I do know this, they're very proud people. Like when Conor was on his rise, when he won, I guess it would have been featherweight. I always get my fucking weight classes mixed up. But when he won, I think it was 130. Yeah, I can never remember them. But I think it was when he won 135. Like a third of the arena were Irish people.
And they're all singing that song. I can't think of how it goes, but it's a chant. And the whole fucking arena is just doing that I don't. I'm. This is wrong. This probably is American, but it's like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like they're all doing that same Irish chant. I know. I fucked it up. I told you I was gonna fuck it up.
When I start a band, I want you to be one of my backup singers.
What'd you just say?
I said, when I start a new band, I want you to be a backup singer for it. But yeah, I can't remember the chant. But I can't remember what chant they did. But I mean, the amount of Irish men and women that come. Yeah, the amount of Irish men and women that come over to the States to watch him fight. That's really cool.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
And this is strange because I didn't realize what was going on. Because we share the login for the YouTube.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm like, why are all these things popping up into my search history that I've never looked for? And you just searched Irish. What the fuck?
Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah, I'm so confused. Last night we get off the phone, and I'm like, everything we talked about is in my YouTube search history. Like, YouTube is listening to me. I got a little bit paranoid. I was like, man, I might take this app off my phone.
Nah, it's me searching. Nah, I can't. I don't even know what to type in. I just typed in Irish chant. I don't even know what to type in, but you know what I'm talking about.
No.
I'll
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, I got 8%. It just went to 7, and I was thinking we've been talking for like an hour, so when my phone gets to 5%, we can end it. Away. That's it.
Yeah, they're saying Olay. Olay.
Ole. And they're doing that. They're doing that.
I forgot what.
That thing that Stipe did. You remember when Stipe beat you remember when Stipe beat DC? That's an Irish.
It's called river dancing.
That too, river dancing.
Yeah. Well, bro, I guess that's about it. I don't have anything else to say.
Now we still got 2% more to go.
2% more?
Yeah, I'm on 7. When I get to 5, I'll be done.
Do you remember when we were kids? And you know the phrase, "Hey, I think I'll add my 2 cents to that." But Jason would say, "Let me add my 2% to that."
Yeah.
Which I just thought about. Technically, he's right, because 2 cents is 2% of $1. So technically, he wasn't wrong.
No, it's not wrong, but that saying is fucked up. You fucked up the saying, bro.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember who it was, but it was a kid at Joyland. And he kept stuttering, and we were like, dude, just spit it out. He said, but I have nothing in my mouth. Oh my God. I don't remember who that was.
I can't remember.
He didn't understand. Yeah, he didn't understand what spit it out means.
Right. Now it makes me think about Slipknot Spit It Out.
You said what?
I said now it makes me think of a Slipknot song, Spit It Out. Spit it out. Spit. Slipknot.
Oh, Slipknot. Yeah.
Now, see, that was never meant to see when I was younger. I didn't care much for their earlier albums. But the type of metal that they've become now, it kind of fused new metal with kind of like the underground metal core that we used to listen to. Very interesting music now.
another band you should look up. They just came out with an album this year, and it's actually like their fucking 10th album or some shit. But it's their first self-titled album. Damn, I hyped it up. I can't think who it is. Oh my God. It has God in it, or Lord. Why can't I think of this? What the fuck? Lamb of God.
Oh, I fuck with Lamb of God.
Check out their newest album. It's very simple. It's not the word I'm looking for, but it's very like mediocre. Like the riffs are very 2005 metalcore from a local band, but I love it because of that.
Try to describe that. When you see mediocre, it doesn't mean you want to listen to it.
You said what?
When you say the word mediocre, it doesn't make you want to listen to it. So try describing that again.
No, because it is mediocre. Like you're like, oh damn, that's fucking mean. But it's like fucking, if you were just learning guitar, that would be a good album to learn. But it's mean. It's like, oh, this reminds me of 2005 Creedence or 2005 Longstreet. Like, it sounds amazing. It sounds beautiful, but it's very simple. It's not hard to play.
Yeah, but simple does not be bad though. Mediocre is not a good word.
Okay, simple, not mediocre. Not mediocre, simple.
Yeah, because it can still be excellent, but simple.
It's simple. Okay, yeah, mediocre does make it out when I listen to it. I just got the 5%, but yeah, it's simple. I'm gonna send you the podcast episode of what I was talking about last night, and I'm gonna text you the Lamb of God album. And there's one other thing I have to text you that I've already forgot about.
I don't know.
All right, Nemo.
I know we're talking about. I know we're talking about the Atlanta-based podcast. I still need to listen to Kobe Bryant.
That's what
in peace. Kobe Bryant, Lil Wayne.
That's what it was. Hey, this is. Tell me if this is fucked up. I copped a pair of Kobe Bryant jersey, Kobe Bryant shorts, and I'm trying to resell them for like $150. But I feel kind of bad. So I think I might keep them for myself.
You feel bad because he passed away?
Yeah, and I copped the shorts for like $78 and I'm reselling them for like $150. And I'm dead, man. I'm making money off of a dead man. I should keep them and fucking just rock them. They're not shorts I would normally rock. They're kind of nice, but
I mean, how much money did you make off those Jordans?
Jordan's still alive. And he's making money off
of die. He's gonna die.
If it said all proceeds goes to Kobe Bryant's family, I wouldn't feel bad. Because okay, they got my money regardless, and I'm gonna make money off of it. But they're going to some company that isn't giving proceeds to his family, so it's like I should rock him out of his memory instead of reselling them. Like, just take that $78. I would never spend $78 on a pair of shorts. But let me rock them, man. Let me not sell them. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, keep them if you want. I don't think it's fucked up though. Like when you become a professional athlete, like just the way I see it, like when you become a professional athlete, you sign over rights to companies, teams to be able to use your likeness, whether you're alive or dead. Like if he showed up on a video game, we'd be excited. But when they're selling his shorts, we're like, hey man, he's dead. That's kind of fucked up. You know,
hey,
so I mean, his likeness is his likeness. Huh?
They're going on eBay right now.
I mean, do what you want. Like if you want to shorts, run shorts. I mean,
No,
I
I'm
wasn't
amazing.
much. I mean, if I wasn't much heavier than you, I'd send them to me, but I wouldn't be able to wear them. I'm a little bit too big.
Yeah, I got a size medium just in case I wanted to rock them instead of selling them. You're breaking up.
I think we're about to enjoy this weekend.
Heard something about the weekend. Love you, man.
Peace.
Peace.
Love you too. Bye.